Hi guys, Dio here. Today we are going to be making this 3D paper snowman craft. But before we get started, we're going to discuss this week's habits and qualities, which are decide and plan and responsibility.
Lead on, lead on, lead on, because we're more than kids. Lead on, lead on, lead on, and we know where we're going.
So this week's habits and qualities are decide and plan and responsibility. So the habit decide and plan means to have goals and work towards them, do the important things first, and to stay on track. And for our quality of responsibility, that means we are supposed to do what we are supposed to do, use self-control, think before we act, and consider the consequences. And that means that we choose our attitudes, actions, and behaviors. So for this craft activity, our goal is to make this snowman, and we're going to try and work towards that. We want to make sure we do the important things first, so that means grabbing all of our materials and cutting things out so that we are ready to go when we glue everything together. And we want to make sure that we're staying on track, not getting distracted, so that way we can get this all done and ready to go. And we want to make sure that we use self-control, maybe not go too crazy with the glue, and making sure that we're only using the materials that we would need for this activity. So yeah, I think we can get started now.
So for this activity, you are going to need blue and white piece of construction paper. You're going to need your glue stick or your white glue, a pair of scissors, some markers, so make sure you have an orange one and a black one. The blue construction paper is what we're going to be using for our background, and then everything else we are going to be using the white construction paper. So first we're going to take this and we are going to fold it in half this way, and then we're going to fold it in half again, and you're just going to cut up your 4 strips of paper, and that is going to help create the snow and then the 3 pieces that make up your snowman. Okay, so I've cut up my 4 strips of paper. Now we are going to measure out the strips so that we can cut them and make up the parts of the snowman. So your snow piece, which goes at the bottom, is gonna stay the same width of your paper. The head part, you can just take 1 strip of paper, fold it in half, and cut that. And then this strip will be the head. For the middle part of the snowman, what I did is I took this second strip, and instead of folding it in half all the way, I kind of folded it in like a quarter of the way. So you're gonna cut off that strip, and you're going to keep the longer end of the strip for the middle part of the body. And then for the bottom part of the snowman, I found that this entire strip was way too long, but if you want, you can keep it, but I found just 2 fingers, and then fold that in, and then cut that little part off. And oopsies, this is how long my strips are. And now we can get started with decorating and building our snowman, because we have all our strips of paper. So for the for the bottom piece, for the snow, you're just gonna want to cut out like a little curve to make it look like a pile of snow, nothing too fancy. And then this can be glued on the bottom. I'm gonna glue everything else at the end, but I'm just gonna show you guys the steps first and then put everything together. So we know that this piece is gonna be the head, and then to create like this 3D effect, you can see that I've folded the piece of paper in to glue it down and make it 3D. So I'm just gonna start by creating those tabs right now, so that way I know where to decorate on my snowman. So I know this part is going to be his face, and then this part right here is going to be the middle part. I'm just going to fold it in, and then I know that this part is going to be where I can draw the buttons, and I can draw a scarf if I want to. And then this part right here, this part doesn't need to be decorated, but if you want, you could put more buttons maybe. I'm just gonna fold in this part too. And then you can map everything out for your snowman. And then using your leftover pieces of white paper, you could also make like a hat if you want, kind of like what I've done here. But now we have our snowman mapped out, so I'm gonna start decorating. Okay, now that I have all my pieces, I'm just gonna glue everything together. I even made a hat off camera. Ta-da! We have our 3D snowman craft. I also decided to draw some arms off camera, but if you guys want, you can also use your scrap pieces of paper to glue on some arms and maybe some snow, like I did with this one over here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's craft, and we'll see you next week.